What if I told you that beneath the bustling streets of modern Cairo lies the greatest archaeological treasure trove on Earth? Every year, millions of visitors arrive at this very airport, drawn by an irresistible force, the call of ancient Egypt. Welcome to Egypt, where 5,000 years of human civilization await your discovery. This is the Nile, the lifeblood that gave birth to one of humanity's greatest civilizations. And there, rising from the desert sands, stand monuments that have defied time itself. For the next 75 minutes you'll journey through temples older than Stonehenge, tombs more mysterious than any treasure vault, and monuments that continue to baffle modern science. You'll walk in the footsteps of pharaohs, decode the secrets of hieroglyphs, and witness the birth of human civilization. This is Egypt. This is where it all began. Did you know that the Great Pyramid was the tallest building on Earth for over 3,800 years? Standing before the Great Pyramid of Khufu, you're looking at the last surviving wonder of the ancient world. Each of these 2.3 million stone blocks weighs between 2 and 15 tons. But here's what will blow your mind. This pyramid was built with such precision that its base is level to within just 2.1 centimeters. How did ancient Egyptians, without modern machinery, achieve such mathematical perfection? Modern archaeologists are still uncovering the secrets of its construction, but the real mystery lies within. This is the Grand Gallery, a masterpiece of ancient engineering that leads to the heart of the pyramid. Here, in the king's chamber, Pharaoh Khufu was meant to begin his eternal journey to the afterlife. But the sarcophagus stands empty. Where is the pharaoh's mummy? The chamber's acoustics create an otherworldly resonance, as if the ancient gods still whisper here. What ancient secret does this 4,500-year-old guardian protect? The Great Sphinx, carved from a single piece of limestone, has watched over Giza for millennia. Between its paws lies the dream stele, telling of a prince's divine vision. But controversial evidence suggests this monument may be far older than we ever imagined. The Pyramid of Khafra still retains some of its original smooth casing stones at the apex. Imagine these pyramids in their prime, gleaming white limestone surfaces reflecting the desert sun like beacons. The Valley Temple of Khafra showcases stonework so precise that you cannot slide a knife blade between the joints. How did ancient builders achieve such perfection with copper tools? The Pyramid of Menkaure, though smaller, holds secrets that challenge everything we know about pyramid construction. These Queen's pyramids remind us that royal women held significant power in ancient Egypt. From above, the true genius of Giza's layout becomes clear. These monuments mirror the stars of Orion's belt. The ancient Egyptians called Orion Osiris, god of the afterlife. What if I told you that 20 kilometers south of Giza stands the world's oldest stone building? Welcome to Saqqara, where human ambition first reached toward the heavens. Behold the step pyramid of Pharaoh Djoser, built 4,700 years ago by the genius architect Imhotep. Imhotep, architect, physician and high priest, was later worshipped as a god. This revolutionary design changed architecture forever, evolving from simple mastaba tombs to this six-stepped monument. Before Djoser, pharaohs were buried in flat-topped mastabas like these. Imhotep's innovation was to stack 6 mastabas of decreasing size, creating the first pyramid. Beneath the pyramid lies a labyrinth of tunnels and chambers spanning over 5.7 kilometers. Saqqara served as the royal necropolis for over 3,000 years, housing pharaohs, nobles, and sacred animals. These tomb paintings provide our most detailed glimpse into ancient Egyptian daily life. The Serapeum houses the mummified remains of sacred Apis bulls in massive granite sarcophagi. Each sarcophagus weighs over 70 tons and was carved from single blocks of granite. Why did ancient Egyptians call their land the gift of the Nile? From the air, the answer becomes clear. Without the Nile, Egypt would be nothing but desert. For 5,000 years, the annual Nile flood has brought life to this desert land. The irrigation systems you see today follow patterns established by the pharaohs. These traditional feluccas have sailed the Nile unchanged for thousands of years. Fishing techniques depicted in ancient tomb paintings are still practiced today. As the sun sets over the Nile, we journey toward Luxor, ancient Thebes. The greatest concentration of monuments in human history awaits. Could one city contain more ancient wonders than entire countries? Welcome to Luxor, where the ancient Avenue of Sphinxes has been restored to its former glory after 3,000 years. This obelisk once had a twin, now standing in the Place de la Concorde in Paris. Built by Amenhotep III and Ramesses II, This temple was dedicated to the rejuvenation of kingship. These columns, shaped like papyrus plants, symbolize the primeval marsh from which all life emerged. The walls tell the story of the Opet festival, when the god Amun traveled from Karnak to Luxor. This room depicts the divine birth of the pharaoh, legitimizing royal power through divine ancestry. Notice how the medieval mosque was built directly on the ancient temple, creating a unique fusion of civilizations. Modern Luxor thrives alongside its ancient heritage, welcoming visitors from around the world. Traditional transport methods offer a timeless way to explore these ancient streets. The local markets echo with the same commercial energy that filled these streets in pharaonic times. Across the Nile lies the West Bank, the realm of the dead, where pharaohs chose eternal rest. What took 2,000 years to build and covers more ground than most medieval cities? The Karnak Temple Complex, the largest religious building ever constructed. This avenue of ram-headed sphinxes once connected Karnak to Luxor Temple, 2.7 kilometers away. Each sphinx protects a small figure of the pharaoh, symbolizing divine protection. Prepare yourself for one of humanity's most awe-inspiring architectural achievements. The Great Hypostyle Hall contains 134 columns, each one capable of holding 50 people on its capital. These columns represent a stone forest of papyrus plants, recreating the primeval swamp of creation. Every surface tells a story: royal cartouches, divine offerings, and military victories. The play of light and shadow creates a mystical atmosphere that has inspired visitors for millennia. This sacred lake provided pure water for temple rituals and symbolized the primeval waters of creation. This 30-meter obelisk was erected by Queen Hatshepsut, one of Egypt's most powerful female pharaohs. The inscriptions proclaim her divine right to rule, defying those who questioned a woman's authority. Karnak is not one temple but a vast complex of temples, chapels, and sacred buildings built over 2,000 years. Across the Nile on the West Bank, the land of the setting sun, lies a landscape baked by heat and time. Why did the pharaohs of the New Kingdom choose this desolate valley for their god-kings? They abandoned the conspicuous pyramids of their ancestors, which were magnets for tomb robbers, in favor of secrecy. They came here to carve their eternal homes deep into the limestone cliffs, hidden from the world. This is the most famous royal cemetery in history, the Valley of the Kings. To date, 64 tombs have been discovered, each a portal to the ancient Egyptian underworld. The location was divinely chosen. Dominating the skyline is Al-Qurn, a natural pyramid-shaped peak. To the ancients, it evoked the sacred Benben stone, the primordial mound of creation, a powerful symbol of rebirth. Yet the valley's most famous discovery was hidden beneath a humble entrance. This unremarkable staircase, buried for millennia, led to the single greatest archaeological find of all time. When Howard Carter first peered into this tomb in 1922 after years of searching, he saw wonderful things: over 5,000 precious artifacts from the nearly intact tomb of Tutankhamun, among them, the iconic death mask. Forged from 11 kilograms of solid gold, it has become the face of ancient Egypt. The tomb's painted walls act as a divine roadmap, depicting rituals to guide the young pharaoh through the dangerous journey to eternal life. But Tutankhamun's tomb is small, its survival owed to its insignificance. It was buried by debris from the construction of a far grander tomb directly above it, that of Ramesses VI. This tomb's long corridors plunge deep into the earth, a symbolic descent into the underworld. Its burial chamber ceiling is one of Egypt's great wonders, a complete astronomical chart depicting the sky goddess Nut swallowing the sun each evening and giving birth to it each dawn. The walls contain not just the Book of the Dead, but a library of funerary texts, spells, and maps for navigating the afterlife. But unlike Tutankhamun's, this grand tomb was found by ancient plunderers. Its massive granite sarcophagus lies shattered, its treasures lost forever. For sheer artistic mastery, however, one tomb is unparalleled. KV-17, the tomb of Seti I, rightly called the Sistine Chapel of ancient Egypt. It is the longest and deepest tomb in the valley, its walls covered in exquisite raised bas-reliefs of breathtaking quality. The colors remain as vibrant today as when they were painted 3,300 years ago. Its astronomical ceiling charts the heavens, while its original sarcophagus, a masterpiece carved from a single piece of translucent calcite, now resides in a London museum. Discovered by Giovanni Belzoni in 1817, the tomb of Seti II represents the absolute zenith of New Kingdom artistry. Each tomb in this valley, whether plundered or pristine, is a testament to a civilization obsessed with eternity, a stone library of belief that continues to reveal its secrets. What secrets still lie buried beneath your feet in this ancient valley? Modern technology continues to reveal hidden chambers and undiscovered tombs. In 2005, archaeologists discovered tomb KV63, the first new tomb found in the valley since Tutankhamun. International teams worked tirelessly to preserve these irreplaceable treasures for future generations. In the nearby Valley of the Queens lies the most beautiful tomb ever discovered. The tomb of Nefertari, beloved wife of Ramesses II, contains the finest paintings in all of Egypt. These paintings show Nefertari playing Senet, the sacred game that determined her fate in the afterlife. A decade-long restoration project saved these paintings from deterioration and salt damage. Who were the master craftsmen who created these magnificent tombs? This is Deir el-Medina, where the royal tomb builders lived in a secret community for over 400 years. The workers' own tombs reveal their daily lives, their tools, and their pride in their sacred work. With simple copper tools and unwavering skill, they created art that still takes our breath away. In the heart of ancient Nubia, a modern marvel of engineering, the Aswan High Dam, gave birth to one of the world's largest man-made lakes. But this symbol of progress cast a long shadow. The rising waters of Lake Nasser threatened to submerge an entire chapter of human history, swallowing countless ancient sites forever. What monument was so precious, so utterly irreplaceable, that it sparked an unprecedented global campaign to move it, stone by painstaking stone? The answer lies south of Aswan, on the shores of this new lake, Abu Simbel, one of Egypt's greatest and most remote treasures. Faced with this imminent loss, the world responded. In the 1960s, under the banner of UNESCO, a coalition of engineers, archaeologists, and workers from over 50 countries embarked on what has been called the greatest archaeological rescue in history. The temples were meticulously documented, then carefully sawn into more than 1,000 massive blocks, some weighing up to 30 tons. These colossal puzzle pieces were then lifted and reassembled with pinpoint accuracy, 65 meters higher and 200 meters back from the new shoreline. A massive concrete dome was built to house the temples, covered with rock and rubble to recreate the original cliff face. Today, Abu Simbel stands proud and secure, a testament to both ancient ambition and modern ingenuity saved for eternity. But to truly understand this monument, we must travel back over 3 millennia. Behold the great temple of Abu Simbel carved directly into a mountain. This was not just a temple, it was a declaration of power and divinity by one of Egypt's most formidable pharaohs, Ramesses the Great. Positioned at the southern frontier of his empire, it was a clear message to the Nubians and all who sailed the Nile. Here begins the land of a living god. 4 colossal statues of the pharaoh, each towering 20 meters high, sit enthroned, gazing out over the water with an air of eternal calm and absolute authority. He wears the double crown of Upper and Lower Egypt, a symbol of his unified kingdom. Despite their immense scale, the faces are rendered with remarkable sensitivity, projecting an image of a divine ruler who is both powerful and serene. Below the colossi, intricate reliefs celebrate Ramesses' military prowess and his divine connections. To enter the temple, one must pass between the pharaoh's massive legs, a humbling experience designed to remind all visitors, from ancient Nubian traders to modern tourists, of their subordinate place in the presence of divine royalty. The interior is just as awe-inspiring. The great hypostyle hall is lined with 8 towering pillars, each carved in the likeness of Ramesses, depicted as Osiris, the god of the underworld and resurrection. This powerful imagery served to fuse the pharaoh's identity with the divine, ensuring his eternal rule not just in life, but in the afterlife. The walls around are covered in magnificent reliefs, most famously immortalizing the Battle of Kadesh. Here, Ramesses is shown as a heroic warrior, single-handedly turning the tide against the Hittite Empire. While historical records suggest the battle was more of a stalemate, this was Ramesses' propaganda masterpiece, cementing his image as an invincible conqueror. Deeper within the temple lies the sacred sanctuary, the Holy of Holies. Here 4 seated figures are carved from the rock: Ra-Horakhti, the sun god; Amun-Ra, the king of the gods; the deified Ramesses himself; and Ptah, the god of creation and darkness. Ramesses' inclusion as an equal among the principal deities was the ultimate statement of his divinity. This chamber is the focus of a breathtaking celestial event. Twice a year, the rays of the rising sun penetrate 60 meters into the temple to illuminate 3 of the statues. The one god who remains perpetually in shadow is Ptah, fitting for a deity associated with the underworld and darkness. This solar alignment, occurring around Ramesses' birthday and coronation day, was a masterful display of astronomical and architectural genius, designed to publicly reaffirm the pharaoh's divine nature. Just a short distance away stands a second smaller temple. While the Great Temple was a monument to Ramesses' power, this one is a testament to his love. It is dedicated to his favorite wife, Queen Nefertari, and the goddess Hathor. The facade is remarkable. 6 standing statues, 4 of Ramesses and 2 of Nefertari, are carved into the rock. In an unprecedented tribute, Nefertari is depicted at the same colossal scale as her husband, an honor never before or since bestowed upon a queen, signifying her immense importance and elevated status. The inscription on the temple reads, "Ramesses made a temple for the great royal wife Nefertari, the one for whom the sun does shine." Inside, the atmosphere is more intimate. The pillars are adorned with the head of the goddess Hathor, and the walls show Nefertari in the divine presence of various gods and goddesses, a clear indication of her own deification. As the sun sets over Lake Nasser, its golden light bathes these ancient facades, now standing on new ground. Abu Simbel is more than just a monument to a powerful pharaoh. It is a story of love, a masterpiece of ancient engineering, and a powerful symbol of modern international cooperation. An eternal proof of our shared will to protect and preserve our collective human heritage. What makes Aswan the most beautiful city on the Nile? Aswan, ancient Syene, was Egypt's gateway to Africa and the source of the finest granite. These quarries provided the red granite for obelisks and statues found throughout the ancient world. This unfinished obelisk, abandoned due to cracks, would have been the largest ever erected at 42 meters tall. On the sacred island of Philae stands the last temple where ancient Egyptian religion was practiced. The Temple of Isis was the last bastion of ancient Egyptian religion, operating until 550 AD. Isis, the goddess of magic and motherhood, was worshipped throughout the Roman Empire. Like Abu Simbel, Philae was rescued from flooding and rebuilt on higher ground. The Nubian people have called this region home for over 5,000 years. Their rich culture and traditions have survived despite the flooding of their ancestral lands. Traditional crafts passed down through generations keep ancient skills alive. As the sun sets over Aswan, we prepare to journey north to Alexandria, where Egypt met the Mediterranean world. What happened when the greatest conqueror in history fell in love with Egyptian civilization? In 331 BC, Alexander the Great founded Alexandria, creating a bridge between east and west. Beneath these Mediterranean waters lie the remains of the ancient royal quarter, lost to earthquakes and time. Marine archaeologists continue to discover treasures from the lost palace of Cleopatra. Here stood the Great Library of Alexandria, the greatest center of learning in the ancient world. The modern Bibliotheca Alexandrina honors the legacy of the ancient library that once held 700,000 scrolls. Scholars from across the Mediterranean came here to study mathematics, astronomy, medicine, and philosophy. The Pharaohs Lighthouse, another wonder of the ancient world, once guided ships safely to harbor. Pompey's Pillar, despite its name, was erected to honor Emperor Diocletian in 297 AD. The catacombs of Kom el Shokafa represent the fusion of Egyptian, Greek, and Roman burial traditions. Here, Egyptian gods wear Roman armor and Greek artistic styles merge with pharaonic traditions. Alexandria's museums preserve artifacts from this unique period when 3 great civilizations merged. How did Cairo become home to the largest collection of historic Islamic architecture in the world? Islamic Cairo contains over 600 mosques, madrasas, hammams and fountains from the Islamic era. These medieval streets have remained virtually unchanged for over 1,000 years. Traditional crafts continue in workshops that have operated for centuries. The Citadel of Saladin has dominated Cairo's skyline since 1183 AD. The Muhammad Ali Mosque, built in Ottoman style, is known as the Alabaster Mosque for its gleaming walls. The interior rivals the great mosques of Istanbul with its soaring dome and intricate decorations. From here you can see both Islamic Cairo and the ancient pyramids. 5,000 years of history in one view. The Sultan Hassan Mosque, built in the 14th century, is considered the finest example of Mamluk architecture. The cruciform plan with 4 iwans became the standard for mosque design throughout the Islamic world. The minbar's geometric patterns reflect the Islamic concept of infinite divine unity. This was also a madrasa where scholars from across the Islamic world came to study. Did you know that Egypt was one of the first countries to embrace Christianity? Coptic Cairo preserves the heritage of Egyptian Christianity dating back to the 1st century AD. The Hanging Church, built over the Roman fortress, is one of the oldest churches in Egypt. The interior preserves 1,500 years of Coptic Christian art and architecture. The Church of St. Sergius marks the spot where the Holy Family is said to have rested during their flight to Egypt. This crypt, built over a cave, has been a pilgrimage site for over 1,000 years. Coptic manuscripts preserve the ancient Egyptian language written in Greek letters. The Coptic Museum houses the world's largest collection of Coptic Christian artifacts. The Ben Ezra Synagogue represents Egypt's ancient Jewish community, dating back over 2,000 years. This synagogue was built on the site where baby Moses was allegedly found in the bulrushes. The Cairo Geniza discovered here contained 300,000 medieval documents, revealing daily life in medieval Egypt. Here, mosque, church, and synagogue stand side by side, testament to Egypt's tradition of religious tolerance. What does it take to house 100,000 ancient artifacts in the world's largest archaeological museum? It takes a vision as grand as the pharaohs themselves, a billion-dollar investment, and 2 decades of relentless work. The result is this architectural marvel, a translucent alabaster wall and a sweeping modern form designed to exist in dialogue with the eternal pyramids. Located just 2 kilometers from the Giza Plateau, the Grand Egyptian Museum represents Egypt's profound commitment to preserving its heritage for the 21st century and beyond. It's more than a building. It's a national statement, a promise that the glories of the past will illuminate the future. Greeting visitors in the soaring atrium is this 3,200-year-old colossus of Ramesses the Great. Carved from red granite and weighing a staggering 83 tons, its journey here was a modern epic. After decades standing in the heart of bustling Cairo, the statue was painstakingly moved in a 10-hour procession to its final climate-controlled home, a guardian welcoming the world. From here, the grand staircase takes visitors on a chronological journey. This symbolic ascent through time, flanked by 87 statues of kings and gods, guides you through 5,000 years of Egyptian civilization, from the Old Kingdom to the Greco-Roman period, preparing you for the treasures that lie at its summit. At the top, the museum's crown jewel, the complete Tutankhamun collection. For the first time in history, all 5,398 objects recovered from Howard Carter's miraculous 1922 discovery are displayed together. For a century, many of these items were hidden away in storage, their stories untold. Now, they are reunited, offering an unparalleled window into the life and afterlife of the Golden Pharaoh. The Golden Throne, a masterpiece of woodworking and precious inlay, depicts Tutankhamun and his queen Ankhesenamun in an intimate domestic scene. The sun god Aten extends its rays, ending in hands that offer the symbol of life, a subtle but powerful link to the revolutionary religious era of his father, Akhenaten. 6 chariots were found in the tomb, including this ceremonial golden chariot, likely used for religious processions rather than the heat of battle. But the collection goes beyond royal regalia. It reveals the sacred beliefs that governed their world, from the canopic jars that protected the king's organs for the afterlife, to the hundreds of Shabti figurines, enchanted servants ready to answer his call in eternity. The jewelry collection, with its intricate use of gold, lapis lazuli, and carnelian, reveals the sophisticated goldsmithing techniques of ancient Egyptian artisans and the vast trade networks they commanded. Behind the scenes, an army of international experts and Egyptian conservators work in what are essentially artifact hospitals. For over a century, many of these treasures were housed in the historic but overcrowded museum in Tahrir Square, exposed to heat, humidity, and pollution. Here, they use cutting-edge technology to preserve these fragile wonders. Advanced 3D scanning creates permanent digital records, while painstaking restoration removes a century of grime, revealing colors and details unseen for millennia. This work ensures these treasures survive for all future generations. State-of-the-art climate control systems now maintain a precise environment with exact temperature, humidity, and light levels tailored to each artifact, protecting them from the environmental damage that threatened them for decades. The museum also embraces the future of storytelling. Virtual reality allows visitors a form of digital resurrection, letting them explore tombs and temples as they appeared in ancient times, stepping into the past in a way never before possible. As our journey ends where it began, we see the museum not as a replacement for the pyramids but as their modern companion, a new guardian of ancient treasures standing shoulder to shoulder with the old. Every year, millions of visitors from every corner of the earth will come to witness these miracles of human achievement, drawn by a curiosity that transcends culture and time. For each new generation of Egyptians, it is a source of immense pride, a place to connect with their identity and discover the magic of their own heritage, ensuring these stories live forever. Egypt's monuments have survived conquests, earthquakes, and the passage of millennia. They stand as eternal proof that human creativity knows no bounds. The Grand Egyptian Museum is the latest chapter in that enduring legacy. It is a declaration that this is Egypt, where the past is not just remembered, but reborn, and where every stone tells a story that will now be heard more clearly than ever before.